Hello, my name is Bozo and I like drawing comics, although these days I'm looking more into actually doing a visual novel, just because I want to avoid the workload of just drawing so many so many pages and so many panels. This is a weekly progress log I do. Just going over the progress of how I'm going. This week, I focused more on what can I say, kind of like story-wise of how I want to go. One of the biggest issues I have is whenever I do something, say like I have Bad Neighborhood going right now that it was about 9 pages in. If I try to redo anything, I usually just go in a completely different direction, just because I typically go just based off whatever I feel at the moment is what I want to see, or whatever I think is kind of cool or whatever. So that's what I'm kind of going through right now. Sort of thinking of maybe changing the scenario a little bit. When I started, it was a bit more of a Resident Evil 2, heavily in Resident Evil 2 classic inspired thing. I think I mentioned before in like one of the previous videos, I had conceived it as a game maker studio game when I was trying to learn that, to make it kind of like a little 2D top view kind of thing, kind of like Legend of Zelda, and just remake all of Resident Evil 2 that way. That didn't pan out just because of I took different directions as I typically do, and yeah, that idea kind of just stuck in my head for a while. And where I'm trying to go is just trying to see if something a little bit not so heavily, I guess, Resident Evil 2 inspired, but kind of there. I still want to have Leona and Clarence in there, just have their roles a little bit slightly different, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But that's what I've been trying to figure out this week, about what the character arcs are going to be, what the setting is going to be. I was thinking maybe something along the lines of Resident Evil Survivor. I like the whole island setting, but there's just things I have in the air that I haven't really decided on, just because since it's going to be a little bit more text heavy, I guess I want to make at least a story that's a little bit more engaging, I guess, is what would be the end goal there, and something a little bit more along the lines, something I want to see, which is a little bit, kind of something to think about per se. It's like, what do I want to see in this story. And yeah, that's pretty much the progress I've had thus far. Like I said, I want to try maybe go for like a Resident Evil Survivor, where they're in an island, Sheena Island, I believe it was called. I totally forgot. It's been a long time since I played that game. I was thinking of maybe making Leona like a security guard that works there, and then the outbreak happens. Just things like that. I ran into issues before trying to make the stories, I guess, logical or something like that, which is not the best thing, I think, just because a lot of stories aren't really logical if you really think about it. But I've been trying to sort of get away from that and trying to be logical with the stories, like, oh, how did the outbreak happen, and why didn't anybody prevent the outbreak, and stuff like that. But that's pretty much what I'm thinking about right now. I definitely want to put Leona in sort of a more Jill-inspired outfit, because I think would be nice. I really like that outfit. So that's pretty much where I'm going at. I mean, it's a little hard to kind of talk and draw at the same time, but I'm just babbling on. But yeah, I'm thinking of making her like a security guard, because I want that Resident Evil, that classic Jill uniform. I think looks nice, because she basically kind of looks like Jill anyways right now, so it doesn't really matter. And yeah, that's what I got. What else have I decided? Yeah, I'm gonna stick with probably the visual novel. and try and write everything out first, and then draw all the panels out in what do we call it? Not the panels, but draw all the characters and assets out all together, just because I really have a bad tendency of going off model really easily. So just kind of, that's another reason why I thought, you know, the visual novel would be better. I just need to draw one good model, I guess you can call them, and then just the variations in emotions and expressions. And yeah, it could work out a lot easier. It could be a lot quicker to finish, because I do have other stories I wanna look into. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this week. Man, stay safe out there, and happy holidays. Bye bye. See you guys next week.